Everybody, welcome to Teaching Crypto. Please hit that like, that subscribe bell notification. Super chats are available. Thank you so much for joining us. We're back better than ever, Mr. FOMO. Doesn't matter how much time we've missed. It just matters how much we're going to be on moving forward. And we finally got an update that everyone in the Voyager community has been waiting for. We got an update about possible future distribution. So let's give our viewers, good morning, Antonio, this Voyager update. Let's go for it, Mr. FOMO, because we got some news and we'll dissect it for our audience in terms of, is it good? Is it bad? Are we getting more relief? What's going on? Because it's been a minute, right?
Yes.
Go for it, Mr. FOMO. What do you see here? We've got some good news and bad news. They gave a 3AC update. Now remember, a lot like 38 million sounds like a lot of money, but in this case, to each individual creditor, is not a ton. Although in this case, I feel like people will take anything they can get back at this point because we're years from the original bankruptcy here.
Any distribution news is good news here. So, I mean, even if you're only getting 2% or a little bit less than 2%, at least you're getting something back, right?
Yeah, and good morning, everybody. And they have a 3AC update here, which they're talking about possibly more three arrows capital, right? And so if we can scroll down to that, Mr. FOMO, that would be nice. So the 3AC capital, they're still hoping. And I talk about a marathon. This thing is insane. I mean, our kids might graduate high school and they're young before this gets settled with 3AC. But I'll read it to you. The wind down debtor is one of the largest creditors in the 3AC capital. We know that. And I'll just keep going down. The wind down debtor has agreed upon the claim in the 3AC's capital proceeding of approximately 675 million. Now that is significant. How much are they going to be able to get from that? I don't know. 675 million is a lot because if you think about it, every 20 million around, and I don't know if it's exactly like that now, is around 1% recovery for people. So that would get us pretty close to the 100% of your original bankruptcy claim. Remember, everyone has an original bankruptcy claim. Hopefully, you've been following this show since bankruptcy and you bought Bitcoin well below or at 30K, and now you've made a decent amount of your recovery. But this could be big. But I don't see any dates. You correct me if I'm wrong about when this can be collected and when this can be distributed. And I don't see that either for the 38 million. So we'll have to get back to Mr. Michael Wise. Maybe we'll leave his name under the show description today on this glorious Saturday here as we come back, bring the show back live. But at least we know they're still alive because we haven't heard from them in ages and they've been pretty quiet. But I don't get the sense that anything's coming next week or a month from now, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, these proceedings are moving at a snail's pace since we got the second distribution. And this is more of a snail's pace. I mean, you really, when you're looking at 2%, you're not looking at much compared to what is really owed to the Voyager debtors. And so this is, anything is great news, like Jessica said, but I'd like to get my full boat back when it's all said and done. And I'd like that sooner rather than later, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Well, here's what they say in paragraph 19. We're hopeful that there will be material distributions to the wind down debtor in the 3AC's capital proceeding. Due to confidentiality obligations, however, we cannot comment on reports of projected distribution amounts or the projected timing of distributions. Whenever the distribution from the 3AC estate ends up being, Voyager creditors should understand that such is likely to be received over a period of multiple years. That doesn't sound good. That means this bankruptcy is not ending in 2025, number one. What I would like to know is this 38 million or so, how much are we getting back of that soon? And, how long are they going to keep this going? Because they only have so much money, correct, to operate. And so that's my concern. I would try to really, again, wrap things up in the next year and a half. This thing should not be going on in the year 2027, or frankly, honestly, that much longer than 2026. I mean, this has been multi-year ordeal at this point. The players are long gone, right? At this point, Steve Ehrlich's probably convinced himself nothing bad happened, and he transitioned out of Voyager. It's
He convinced himself of
rewrite it.
that the day it happened. He was convinced. He's one of those people. He's a
Yeah.
narcissist.
Now he's changed his account on X. You can no longer DM him. By the
Oh,
way, yeah, he was. You know, Anyways, I would like, I like the update, but again, the lack of urgency here is concerning. It's Michael Weiss is new. If you remember, the old guy is long gone, and it seems like he's working on stuff on the side for this, and it's like when it happens, it happens. Let's set some dates, right? If we've got some money, even if it's 2% or less, let's set a date for distribution in 2025. So I think we gotta, we're the only show that's covering this. So if you know someone that's still waiting for Voyager, hit them up, let them know to follow us on YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button, bell notification, because we're gonna contact Michael this week and see if we can get a response. Because I don't, I like the response because it's something, but also I'd like to know, is there an immediate goal before 2026 for a 2% distribution? Because for some people, that could be a lot of money, right? Everyone's in a different boat. That could be money you could buy an alt or put in Bitcoin or anything. So I do believe this bull run is not going to be over until mid to late October now. That is my belief based on everything that's happened. It's just a strange bull run. I do think there's money to be made, but I don't know if you're waiting on more Voyager funds to invest. I don't know if you're going to get it in 2025, according to this information.
yeah. And when they say in one of the paragraphs that they expect it to be received over a period of multiple years, that's not a good sign.
No, but the money they have gotten, okay, let's if whatever 1.8%, 2%, let's get it out. Let's get it out by the fall or late summer. Let's do this, Michael. So you can count on us. We'll contact him, see what he says here, follow up. But just we know they're still alive, and we know they're still functioning. But the update I'm getting is, I was hoping this could come to a close. Thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it. I was hoping this would come to a close in 2025, but I think I think maybe I'm hopeful, Mr. FOMO, that by the time your son graduates, you'll have that third Voyager distribution that you could help pay for the graduation party, perhaps.
Yeah. I think I'll be worried about paying more than just the graduation party, but yeah, hopefully we'll get it by then.
Now, I know you guys came for the Voyager update, but let's talk crypto for a second. This has been a strange, probably, let's keep it real, this has been the most boring bull run ever. We started with the excitement of the ETFs, and we're going to get a crypto-friendly administration. We did get some bad news this morning. We want to keep it real. The governor of Arizona did veto the bill that would have established the first crypto reserve for a state. And I think that would have been extremely bullish had she not done that. I think a lot of people thought it was going to pass, to be honest with you. It's Democratic governor. I don't want to get into politics, but I think there was a lot of support in Arizona from both sides of the aisle. And I think this is I think eventually almost every state will have a Bitcoin reserve over the next 10 to 15 years. I think this is going to go down as one of those aha moments where this governor is not going to look back and say, oh, that was a good decision I made on that date. Do you remember people that didn't want to invest in the internet several decades ago? Yeah. How did that turn out? Because they thought it was going to be a fad. Yeah. I remember to this day overhearing a guy that was in computer science, and that was an engineer, say, oh, this internet thing, this is I think 95 or 96. This is a fad. People are not going to be on here very much. And now it's, just a bit off, just a bit outside, as they say in baseball. And so I think this is a major mistake by the governor. But again, it shows how early we are. So as you get frustrated that a Bitcoin is below 100K, I hate to say it, what has happened here is Bitcoin has come a long-term commitment more than ever. And the alts, again, there's just too many of them. I do believe in the ones that I have. I think we're going to get a spike in the altcoin market. between now and October. Varied. Okay, but if you're waiting for the 100x for the ultra, you're holding right now, get a reality check. It's not happening. You get your 2x, get the hell out. Take those profits, and I would again.
Enjoy those profits.
I
Treat
still feel
yourself.
strongly because I do believe that the Fed will have to print that we are going to get 150 to 180K Bitcoin before the end of the year.
Yeah, and like you said, there's too many alts out there now. The money is spread too thin right now. People are struggling right now. And that's not just in the US, that's everywhere. So it's a hard sell for them to buy into some of these riskier assets with
I
the idea that a 10x is coming. I
I,
think
I did, yeah. I did want to say one thing. I told our viewers that wouldn't be a horrible idea 3 weeks ago to at 76K to kind of slowly get in the alts. At that point, Carrot was at 5 cents. It's now up to 9 cents. It is up significantly. So here, I mean,
those are good profits
that
depending
is
on
good
what you put
profit.
in
So if
there.
you bought back then, and I got some ridicule a little bit in the chat afterwards saying you're telling people to get into alts. I said slowly filter in because they were at just bottom basement prices. You had ETH at 1500. It's already back up to almost 1900. So Solana was 100. It's 143. You know, um, a lot of Injective at one point this month, $6.33, now pushing 10. So some people did make profits. iOS, one of my favorites, Mr. FOMO, 18 cents back to 43. That looking back, I mean, I know it's hard because there's so much economic uncertainty, but those were great deals. And if you took advantage, hopefully now you take a little bit of profit, wait, take more, I think, as we get going. I really do believe that we're not dead. Okay. Even if there is a recession, I still think at some point we're going to have a spike at a top that we haven't reached. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not going to promise 200K or 250 like some people are doing. I just think that's clickbait. But I really do believe the 150 to 180 range is a good place to take profits. And we'll see what happens. If one of these states does what Arizona almost did, that could be a huge catalyst.
Yeah, and I think the Arizona governor is going to look back on this, like you said, as a bad decision. And I think it was purely political. I don't think that she was looking at this and going, well, this is a bad idea because X, Y, or Z. I think this was purely political. She wanted to stick it to a certain party or a certain president. And that's what she's trying to do.
I mean,
So,
not the current president. I don't think that's what makes this a little bit odd. Um, I'll say this: in 2029, when Bitcoin is well over 300K, maybe 400K, I'm gonna look back and think, wait, we had a chance to buy Bitcoin below 100K and we didn't do it. Um, uh, um, we want to before we leave. MicroStrategy has doubled, Mr. FOMO. I don't know if you saw this. Their strategy of acquiring Bitcoin. You talk about someone going all in. I mean, you can't go more all in than Michael Saylor. It's he. So he did. They did acquire an additional 15,355 Bitcoin, but they've also now want to raise 84 billion to purchase more. That's double what they had wanted to do before. It's either the greatest thing strategy ever, or it could backfire. I don't. Even if Bitcoin price goes down, I don't think he's going to be liquidated like people are saying. I don't anticipate that's going to happen. I really do believe, guys. Um, again, could be dead wrong. In 3 years, we're even if there is a recession, it's not going to last forever. I really do believe 2028, you'll be laughing at Bitcoin below 100K, laughing.
yeah. Like we've said in the past, it is and it's true. Anybody that holds Bitcoin for longer than 4 years is happy about it. And that has shown itself to be true through the history of Bitcoin.
Anyone that
So
holds Bitcoin 8 years, very
is
happy.
going to be very happy.
I was telling someone earlier that had just gotten a decent amount of Bitcoin in an ETF. I said, if you really want to be happy, wait 8 to 12 years. That's the I really believe the $1,000,000 Bitcoin is happening. Uh, I want to say before 2034. I'll say between 2028, 2032, we see the $1,000,000 Bitcoin. Now, how much will $1,000,000 get you in the US by then? I can't tell you. It won't buy you what it used to, but we will see the $1,000,000 Bitcoin. Bitcoin will continue to go higher and higher and higher as infinite amount of US dollar gets printed. Military budget 1 trillion, and that's the published military budget. That's not the real military budget. That would be another show for another time. But Mr. Fomo, it's been great coming back on the air. Let's make a commitment to get you and me on live more often so we can spur this bull run. Hopefully we can celebrate 100K maybe this week, beginning of May. May hasn't been a history of being too bullish, except 8 years ago in the previous cycle, not the one before, but the one before it was. Let's see if we can get things rolling. And I would love to see an all-time high, and some of these alts show some green, so our viewers can take some profits. And hopefully, if you're in Voyager, we can get you even more updates in the future.
Good. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that we are going to be doing more shows. I think that we can, especially this summer. I think we're going to ramp up the shows. So stick with us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And guys, as dejected as we've been, I think between now and the end of October, a lot of fireworks, a lot of money to be made. Share the show if anyone you know. A lot of people have dropped out of the space, or they're just doing clickbait now. So, guys, keep it here. Thank you so much for your support. For Mr. Somo, this is AZ Crypto. Have a great day.